Tackle Junkies, what's going on, everyone? Really appreciate you guys and gals for clicking on the video. Here with my wife today, and we are doing a follow-up video on the Smokeless WarmBond fire pit. And before we get things rolling here, I guess the first thing that we can talk about are these fire starter rings that come with the fire pit. I mean, they're nothing to brag about. To be honest, it's a job to get them going. You have to hold the lighter to them for at least a minute or two to get a decent flame. I think you're supposed to put them kind of under your wood or your pellets, whatever it is you're using. But it seems like I'd light it, I'd put a few pellets towards it, it would go out. It's not a very strong flame. And like I said, it takes a while to get going. There's definitely better options out there other than these. We have a few left. Of course, I'll use them up. But most likely I'll get something different in the future. Here's what they look like there. And maybe that's really how they're supposed to work. Maybe it's supposed to
be a slow start.
Yeah, because I think they do last like 12 minutes, so maybe that's why. But I don't think you really need it to last 12 minutes. You know, probably a few minutes would be good as long as you got some dry wood in there, whatever it is that you're using. But yeah, I guess that's what it is. They want them to last a while. So that's probably why it is a slow burn, but I think it's a bit too slow. We do have a couple other videos that we will roll in during this, and we do have a fire going right now behind you guys. It's a good distance away because it does get very hot. That's something that we should touch on.
A lot of heat, yeah.
It puts out a good amount of heat. For as small as it is, it
definitely, you feel like you're sitting by a bigger fire.
Exactly, yeah. And we've had some pretty big fires in the past, and it feels like you're sitting, like she said, around a huge fire. It puts out a good amount of heat.
Yes. Now
the first thing that we lit and cook with are these pellets from, what do you say, Traeger? These are the premium hardwood pellets, Pro Blend, Oak Hickory, Cherry, Natural Flavored Hardwood Blend. And I gotta tell you, besides the smell, I mean, the food tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it has nothing to do with the pit, obviously, but this stuff works pretty good. I do like this stuff, and that's what we're cooking with right now. We cooked some hot dogs on these here, and I tell you what, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I mean, it was a full bag. This is only our second or third fire with this?
This is the second one.
Second fire with this bag here. This bag, I believe, was 25 bucks, and I'm sure we can get another 3 fires out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So 5 fires for 25 bucks. I mean, it is a little pricey. I mean, wood's free, but if you're looking for
that smoky flavor.
Yeah, smoky flavor, and I mean, and it's clean. You know, buy a bag and dump it in. It's
there's been like no mess.
Yeah.
Everything burns down to complete ash, and it almost looks formed still. Yeah. So when you dump it off, it just goes. There's really not much mess.
So maybe 6 fires, but 5-6 fires for a bag, I think is pretty good. And like I said, guys, we have the fire going behind us here, so I'm sure we'll put in some B-roll of that as well. And I'm not going to mention it yet. I'm sure you guys can notice, though, that really you're not seeing much smoke.
There's no smoke.
And that's really the whole point of this particular fire pit here, is it's smokeless. The next thing we cooked on here is the hickory barbecue chunks. Just chunks of wood there. This was what, 7-8 bucks?
It was like $8 just because we wanted to try it.
And we used half a box on our first cook, so I guess we'll get a couple fires out of this. So pretty good deal as well.
One thing I will say about these, more than the pellets, is that these did have like a little more smoke to them. I don't know if it's because of the bark or what it is, but they did have, I mean, and not like a noticeable smoke.
And she says, yeah, a little bit of smoke, but I don't even know if the video will pick it up.
Right.
You know, so it's, I mean, right now, you guys, and we're all looking at the pellets burn right now, and I don't really see, any smoke. I mean, what you're seeing is basically the flame.
The
heat, really. Yeah. There's no smoke coming out of that fire pit there. So the little smoke that came out of there with these, I mean, it's really not all that noticeable.
It's still nothing like your typical fire.
Yeah, when you start a fire and the wind's blowing and you got to keep moving your seat around the fire, I mean, that's smoke.
Right.
This here, I mean, it wouldn't affect you at all, the little bit of smoke that came out while burning these here, so. And I'll tell you what, we cooked burgers with these. and they were fantastic. We get these burgers, they're like pre-made from Deerbergs. They're
like a
bacon and cheddar. They are fantastic, and like I said, this gave them just a little bit extra flavor. Really, really good. So, I mean, I know the video's not about cooking and what we're cooking with and all that, but I mean,
that's the point of a fire.
Yeah, I mean, something to try out, you know. Something to try out for sure.
And it definitely, I know we touched on it a little, the smell isn't like normally, like you get that burning wood smell with a fire, you know. It's you get the hickory.
Right.
Yeah, so it's actually very aromatic.
I mean, I like to eat a lot, and I really like to eat when these are, you know, these are cooking, just because it smells and tastes so good. Now, like we said, we've been cooking on this fire pit as well, and the only time we had smoke was when we put the lid on to try and calm the fire down. You know, I don't really know how this thing works, but I'd imagine when you put the lid on, it does affect how this thing is supposed to work, you know. So, and
we were cooking burgers at the time, so there was a lot of grease too that was hitting the fire.
I just want to throw that out there. If you get the pit and you plan to cook on it, putting the lid on, you are going to get smoke. But like I said, when the lid's off and you're burning your pellets or wood or whatever, you can see you're not really dealing with any smoke. It's only when the lid is on. And it's definitely needed too, because once the fire gets rolling here, I mean, it's a pretty big hot flame. So if you're going to cook on it, you're going to have to calm it down some way. So you definitely will need one of those lids.
I think you had the thermometer in, and it was reading like...
It was like 500 degrees.
500 degrees. So yeah, he's like, okay,
it was warm. We cooked our first batch of burgers, and we wanted another one. I mean, they were done in like 3 minutes. I mean, that fire was hot.
And but they were perfect, man.
Oh, they were so good. Yeah, they were so good.
Yep.
But anyways, I mean, I guess we kind of said what we needed to say here. I mean, if you're looking for... Well,
and one more thing. For me, I have asthma, and so I love sitting by fires.
I was going to get to this, but...
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry. But I've had no issues sitting next to this at all. It's been great. It's been very enjoyable for me.
I mean, you kind of stole my ending there, but, you know, there's not much more to say about it.
Smell.
We already talked about the smell.
On your clothes. You really don't have any smell on your clothes.
Well, you have the hickory smell, you know.
That's right. You smell like...
I mean, I smell pretty good the way it is, but I mean, after one of these fires, I mean, I can't keep her off me, you know.
Right.
I got to beat her off with a stick, you know what I'm saying?
Give me some bacon.
Yeah. But that's mainly what you guys were concerned about. You know, on our first video, a lot of the questions where is it really smokeless? And I'm going to say, for the most part, it definitely is. I mean, like I said, the fire's still rolling behind us there. I mean, I'm not seeing any smoke. What you're seeing is the heat.
Well, and it's also a little bit of burger that was left.
Yeah, you can see that.
It's kind of smoking.
Yeah, if you actually look at the grill, she's right. You can kind of see that smoking, but
the fire itself is not smoking.
Yeah. You won't have any problems at all if you have asthma or you just don't like sitting around and smoking all that. You won't have any problems at all, at least with our experience so far.
Yeah, or you don't like walking away smelling like a fire, like your hair and your clothes. I mean, really, there wasn't any smell. No,
so yeah, I have really zero complaints. The only complaint was, you know, these things here, but, you know, more we thought about it, it's probably so they do last longer.
Right.
But like I said, I'd rather them not last as long and have a nice flame, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, the WarmBond smokeless fire pit, I think, really is the real deal. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
I'm digging it, so.
Absolutely.
Anyways, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you guys are in the market for a smokeless fire pit, I would definitely give this one a look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the thumbs up. Love you guys. We will see you guys on the next one.